Amazing, amazing. I'm so excited. Today is Thursday. It is the end of the week, right?
Hey.
So, it's getting close to the end of the week. And I think as things start to open up, people are starting to get out more and just really, get engaged, back engaged with life. Hello,
Yeah.
family. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? This is Cheryl Grant with Fit Live. I'm so excited to introduce this queen to you. I'm going to give people a few moments to log on, give them a few moments to tap in. Happy Thursday. Wherever you are, I want to just send you some love, light, some sunshine. We all could use that, right, Dr. Julianna
Oh,
Hynes?
absolutely. And I'm loving your energy, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
A lot of times I've been told, and I want to make sure I turn my speaker down because sometimes we can have interference, your little devices. But I'm told, like, Cheryl, are you like that all the time? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what it is.
You are.
I can't make this stuff up.
Yes.
So, family, if you're out there and you can hear us, can somebody just put in the chat, I see you and I hear you? Can you do that for me, please? And in the meantime, I'm going to log on to my Facebook because that's my way to see we are live. We are definitely live. I want to just first and foremost, again, thank everybody for chiming in each week as I introduce these amazing, phenomenal speakers. My platform, as you know, is really created as a way to uplift Black women and women of color. And it's not, and I need to be really clear, I'm not discriminatory towards anyone. I support all. My passion for creating this platform was truly because I didn't have a platform where I could go showcase my own talents. And every time I would go places, whether it be a seminar, a webinar, I didn't see a lot of Black people, or I only saw one. And I know in my heart and soul, as I've already demonstrated over since 2017, I've been doing this. We are out there, and I wanted to create this platform to not only showcase them, but to show the world if you're looking for talent, you can come right here and you can find it. These women are amazing, and what they do is not anything reflective of me. It's just, well, it is reflective of me. They are me. I am them, but they are talented in their own rights and deserve the opportunity to be heard and be seen. So with that, I'm going to dive right in because we have a great conversation for you today. So first and foremost, I want to ask you, I always ask this, please do grab a pen and a piece of paper. I want you to take notes. This is an opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn. I also want to ask you, tag a friend. Please tag a friend. This is great information. And if you don't believe me, you can go to my YouTube channel where you can look at a series of the people I've interviewed over the course of the years. And it is amazing what they have to share with you in the way of wisdom and knowledge and experience. So without further ado, I'm going to make sure I didn't hit any wrong buttons there. So without further ado, I just want to say to you that Cheryl Grant International, and I have changed my name. There will be some changes. Cheryl Grant Enterprises, now Cheryl Grant International. We are here to highlight both the journey and the success stories of professionals and entrepreneurs of color. We want to explore all the important and necessary information to help guide, inspire, and encourage all aspiring business owners and professionals of color. We plan to equip them with specific, concrete examples and tools. I keep getting a message. And tools, tips, and tricks to lead them toward their own success, not only in business, but in life. The question I always ask, are you ready to get fit? What is fit? Fit stands for faith, intuition, and tenacity. In today's climate, if we haven't learned anything, we need to be mentally fit, not only physically fit, because that is a value for me, but we have to be mentally fit. Faith, having the ability to believe in the unseen. Intuition, being able to trust yourself and knowing how to. How do you tap into your inner voice? Tenacity. Once you have the faith and you have the intuition, how do you have the tenacity and the drive to go get done what you need to do in life? And so that's what we're here to do today, help you become mentally fit. I'm bringing the best of the best of the best to you to make that happen. And Dr. Julianna Hynes is no exception to the rule. So here is what I want to share with you about Dr. Julianna Hynes. And by the way, y'all, this is when I tell my age because a mama got to be able to see. So, Dr. Julianna Hynes is a global leadership development and advancement strategist, coach, speaker, and author. She is known for her expertise in women's leadership. Dr. Hynes effectively helps her clients shift from autopilot to a more purposeful and deliberate mindset, enabling them to build confidence, develop relevant leadership skills, become more professionally savvy and strategic, and position themselves for further advancement. You are a perfect fit for Fit Live. She is the executive coach to thousands of businesses, professionals who have successfully honed their leadership skills and developed the strategic competencies needed for their future successes. In her first job out of college, Dr. Hynes worked in a white male-dominated organization. Being a driven young Black woman and recently divorced single mother in an assistant role was challenging enough. Working with leaders who led by command and control and fear and intimidation proved to be a daily struggle, as it has been for a lot of us, Dr. Julianna. Wow. Although ambitious, Dr. Hynes found that having a degree and working hard wasn't enough to be seen and promoted in this environment. There were obscure barriers and uncommonly known strategies getting ahead. These early career experiences fueled her for helping leaders be more impactful in their roles and helping Black women to advance professionally. These experiences also enabled her to support in navigating nuances of being a Black female in corporate America. Dr. Hynes earned her PhD in organizational psychology from California School of Professional Psychology, where she focused her dissertation on successful Black women leaders and strategies. The key takeaways that she applies in her work were that having professional savvies, the right to support, and an actionable plan was the secret for Black women's success. Dr. Hynes' latest book, Leading on Purpose, The Black Women's Guide to Shattering the Glass Ceiling. I could have used that. Wow. Springboards of her dissertation's research shares the principles, insights, strategies needed to thrive in corporate America. I could go on and on, but I think it's going to be more valuable for you to engage in dialogue with this amazing queen. Everybody, no matter where you are, please do give Dr. Julianna Hynes a round of applause. Welcome, queen.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderfully blessed, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you very much. You know, we talked, and when we talked earlier today, you asked me how I was doing, and I said to you, in this moment, I'm doing really good, because there are moments, Dr. Julianna Hynes, I am not.
Yes.
And I would love to get your feedback, and I know we're going to do just that today. Mm-hmm. But before we get started, I'm going to ask, and I ask everybody this, so this is it. Okay. That's just for that. I ask everybody because it's important for me to understand what drives you. It's important for me to understand what uplifts you. So what are you passionate about?
Yes, thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to be here with you today. And that question, I think it's an important question for all of us to ask ourselves, because really for me, passion is what fuels my day-to-day. It's what gets me up in the morning. It's what helps me to keep going when I don't feel like moving one particular morning, because I'm so passionate about the work that I do. So I'm really passionate about as you said in the bio, helping leaders to be better leaders. I could only imagine that had the leaders I had early in my career, those older men with military backgrounds, made like 4 times as much money as me, and their wives probably got to work or live, be at home with the kids. I can only imagine what it would have been like to be developed and supported by them had they known how to do leadership in a different way. So that's what fueled my passion for leadership development, just helping leaders to be the best leaders they can be. It's really simple, but it's everything to me. And then helping women such as myself who might definitely have the drive and have the intelligence and might even have a degree or two under their belt or no degree, but they just feel like they continue to hit a brick wall. And so I'm really passionate about seeing more women in leadership roles so that they can make a difference in the organization as well as our communities, in their own families, and in their own lives themselves. I just think that, diversity is so important when we're talking about leadership and development. And so every person I sit down and talk with, it might be a 30-minute conversation, but that makes me feel that's my little part in helping the world at large and society having better leaders.
I love everything that you just said because that's everything that I stand for.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be about it in words. It's another thing to be about it in action. And really having that impactful or, to be that place. One of the things you and I have talked about in past discussions is that we definitely have to be passing the baton on to those who are coming up.
Absolutely.
Really helping them. I can tell you, and I would love to get your feedback on this because, as you're coming up, especially as you're operating within corporate, your goal as a woman of color or Black woman is just to be the best you possibly can. That's really it.
Yeah.
And obstacles that are set before us is not, at least from my perspective, we don't come with an agenda per se more than just asking for an opportunity. Yeah. But asking for an opportunity, what's your coaching to women? Because Dr. Julianna, I've had several different conversations as of recent with women saying that they don't feel that they can be authentic. They don't feel that they can truly show up and be who they are without some kind of repercussion to that.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
That's a challenging question. There's no easy answer. The best thing I think women can do, that we can do, is to support one another. So form those groups, either a sister circle or something like I do, group coaching, so that number one, you don't feel like you're alone. You're not the only one going through it. That's really where the Me Too movement started, was finding out, oh, you went through that. Oh, me too. And so really supporting one another, having that network of people, and it might not always be Black women, but having a network of people that you can go to and really talk about your challenges and struggles. And that's why I love being a coach, because I get to be that sounding board for people and to reflect what it is I hear them saying, and then what do they want to do about how they're thinking about it, how they're approaching it? Is there a different way to think about it so that we're not torturing ourselves? Or is there a coping mechanism? Because sometimes that's all we can do, right? Is learn how to cope until we get to that next level or that next job or that next opportunity. But it's really around having a strong support system.
I so agree with you. And I thank you so much for even saying that. It's not about your support system. It doesn't necessarily always have to look like you. It's about people who believe in you. And I think that's so much for
absolutely.
My circle is wide, and everyone who's around me that supports me is Black. There are a lot of others that really understand the struggle that I am going through, and they are there for me. They are there for me. Marcia Nelson, Tara Spalding. The list can go on and on. I just named those because they're at the top of my head. So it is about creating the circle. And then what would you say? Because I know for me, there was always this thing when I walked in the room, I was the only one. And so I never looked at it, to be really honest with you, if we could just be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I never really, I knew I was the only Black one, but I guess I never thought about it until people reminded me of it. Like, feel being the, and then I would get some kind of a complex, like, is my hair right? Do I have a fit on? Do you have any or experiences of that yourself? And how, I guess the question for me more is, how do we deal with our own psyche and owning our own power, and not allowing that to be our navigation tool? Because even though it's a reality, how do we mentally transition to operate in that environment?
Yeah, and I think you just said it. It's mentally preparing ourselves before you walk into a room. I've had the opposite experience. Anytime I walk in a room, I'm very aware of the fact that I might be the only Black person or Black woman in the room. And even before I go to whatever it is, whether it's a meeting or event or what have you, I'm very mindful of, okay, how am I wearing my hair, my clothes, my makeup? And I'm always professional, but I'm also checking myself against, this might be cool for maybe if I was in a room of Black professionals, but if I'm in a room of a mixed group, will I still be representing myself and unfortunately my entire culture as how I'm showing up? That's just the reality of the life we live in this beautiful brown skin of ours. Yes. And so, just like I said, when you said mentally preparing, my daughter, who's 16, shared something with me, and it stuck with me. And I guess it's a saying, it's like, Queen, don't let your crown fall, meaning don't dip your head so your crown can fall off your head. So, you go in there, even if you have to have this persona or this, this role that you're playing, so to speak, that you're sitting up strong and you're tall and, you are that queen. Although we don't always feel that way, but you have to go in owning it and acting as if until you start really to feel it. So I do think it's that mental preparation before you go into wherever you're going into, rather than being what we typically do, which is on autopilot. We just walk in a room. So it's being more thoughtful and intentional about, how am I going to go into this room feeling good about me?
Well, I love that you said that, and thank you so much for that. One of the things that I am an advocate for, I believe this. It is what it is. Michelle Obama. It is what it is. However, this is my mantra. I'm looking forward. I can't look back.
True.
I look back from the perspective. I understand my history, and I understand the truth about the reality of the world that we live in. But I'm also very mindful about how I'm moving forward, and what I refuse to do is allow somebody else's lack of understanding stop me from being my most audacious self. As you know, I have a mission to reach 50 million women. That's an audacious goal, but I'm confident through this platform and those that I'm working with and the sponsors that are coming on board to help support me, that I'm going to get there. But a part of my mantra is, I think together we are far stronger than we are individually. Absolutely. So my platform is about building collaboration with other like minds. How do you feel about that, Dr. Julianna?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. None of us, I just shared this with someone, none of us, even as we, grow our careers and whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish, get to our goals, none of us succeeds on our own. It's all because of a collective support that we've gotten to where we are now and to where we're going. We live in a community, we live in relationship with other people. And so rather than having a mindset of lack and that these resources are scarce, and so I need to,
speaking to my heart, we live in a world of abundance, and I am a coach. You are a coach.
Yeah.
And we're both here sharing a platform.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Guess what? And guess what? we do live in a world of abundance.
Mhm.
And our power doesn't come separate. I'm going to be, by the way, I have Dr. Julianna Hynes and other coaches that I'm going to be working with, because we have to come together collectively. And one of the things that Terry OG said that I like is try not to focus on color. He said, I try not to focus on color. I focus on contribution. And that's what we have to do as a community.
I love it.
And the other one, Steve Parker. Thank you so much, Stephen Parker. How are you doing? He says, great topic, great women.
Yeah.
But I believe too that it is about our ability to come together as one and realize that our strength is not in what separates us. Our strength is in what brings us together.
Absolutely.
We are stronger together than we can ever be separately. Yeah. And when we come together, we have watched the power and the strength that comes when we come together. The election was won because we came together.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. So I am the mindset of everybody who knows me and have watched my platform knows that I am a lover, admirer. She's my shero, Harriet Tubman. She's my shero because she is a person who didn't just think about herself, although she could have. But she came back and helped others. Yeah. And if we don't do that, then who's going to do it for us? That's why this platform exists. We don't need permission. I don't need anybody's permission to showcase other amazing women of color. I don't need your permission. And as a matter of fact, since you can't, I can show you how. Mm-hmm. Even in an antagonistic kind of a way, it's in pure love. How do we grow together? I love that. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, grow together, and then also, being that contribution. That definitely resonates with me. Is how can I make an impact on this world in my little microcosm of the world? I have a picture I'm looking at on my wall, and it's a picture of a drop of water in a pond, and the ripple effect. So that one contribution that I might make, it might seem like a little drop, but it's going to have bigger and bigger impact as I touch other people. And even in community, I'm a woman of faith, and there's a scripture that says we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We're all unique. We're all special. We all bring something to the table. While you and I are both Black women, the way God made you and the way He made me are complements to one another. It doesn't take away from each other. We're able to add to, the contribution rather than one or the other has to be there. That is never the case. I've never believed that. So absolutely in alignment with what you're saying.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. And I love the fact that you're here. And I love the fact that you are on this platform sharing. So one of the things I always do is, because anybody out there, if you haven't tagged a friend yet, please do. This is about a community effort. The more we come together, the stronger we become. So I'm confident in the work that I'm doing, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just getting started. We are going to reach 50 million, but I need you to tag a friend. Share. It costs you nothing to share. Share. Sharing is caring. Share. So this is what I want to ask you this question, Dr. Julianna Hynes. We all know about the power of positivity. Mm-hmm. I want to say to you, that's so much easier said than done. I live on positivity. I thrive on it. But I can't say that I don't hit walls. Mm-hmm. I can't say that I don't have times that I struggle. Can you share with the audience?
Yeah.
Because some people are struggling, and it's nice to have all these anecdotal, go be kumbaya, let's be happy. But how do you do that when you are in a toxic environment? How do you do that when you're around people that don't understand our struggle and want to make us wrong because we're trying to express something that's been happening for a long time and we're just tired? Like, we're just tired. What do we do, Dr. Julianna?
Yeah, great question. You know what I did when I was in that first role? I was continuously getting harassed, discriminated based on my race, based on my gender, based on my age, based on the fact that I was a single mom. I had all these labels on me going into the workplace. And what lifted my spirit and helped me to get through some of the most challenging times were that I had a goal to do something else. And for me, that goal started manifesting when I went back to school for my master's degree. I know, formal education isn't for everyone, but for me, it was everything. I could go to classes and learn about leadership and validate that what I'm experiencing at work and what I'm learning in school are two different things, and that there's possibility in what I'm learning, and how can I be that change that I want to see or I want to make for someone else. So for me, it's always striving for something more, different, better, whatever I'm being called to. But it's usually around some type of goal to make not only my life better, but the people around me better. So that's my go-to. Yes, and it's absolutely easier said than done. I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with all these different things. We're human, right? And so again, surrounding yourself with people that are going to uplift you when you can't lift yourself up. Being mindful of what you're watching, what you're listening to at different times. I love like the 48 Hours and the Snapped and all these, shows about mysteries. But when I'm in a dark place or in a bad place, I don't watch those. I'm watching Five Heartbeats, or I'm watching The Temptation. I'm watching something that's going to lift my spirit. So you have to be mindful and aware of where you are in your body and where you are in your mind, and then intentionally doing something about it so that you're not falling down that rabbit hole that is so easy to slip down.
Oh my God, you just brought up something that I think is an overused word, but I hope that everybody here, whether you listen to this now or later, will really capture. And that's the word awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness is everything. And a lot of times we walk around, I don't want to say blind, but we're almost on autopilot. We wake up every day doing the same thing, always going through things in the same way. And I really challenge you with everything you do, even those that are the challenges that you face at work in corporate or as an entrepreneur, that you really challenge yourself on how you look at how you do what you do. I know for me, and that's not always an easy thing to do, because you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And they're like your blind spots, you can't see them. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself around other people who can help you to see those blind spots. That's why it's so important to get a coach. Invest in yourself. If you'll invest in a pair of shoes, and you'll invest in when I'm thinking shoes, I'm thinking of Louis. I'm not mad at you if you like Louis Vuitton. So don't tell me Cheryl, don't hate on Louis Vuitton. I'm not mad at that. But I'm just invest in yourself, invest in your own personal development, and get to help advance you. The thing that you don't get to do is I'm okay. Mental health is a real thing. Yeah. And I don't take that lightly. And I've been down some dark roads, so I know it exists. And the thing that I want to say to you is that the thing you have to learn to do is help yourself. And it goes back to that awareness. Well, how do you know? Well, if you're waking up every day and you find yourself not wanting to get dressed, not wanting to talk to anybody, you're kind of going into a shell, that's the time when it's time to open up the door and start talking to somebody else to help you get to the next level.
Absolutely. Ask for help.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Mental health is a real thing. I talk to some women, they're like, Cheryl, I love that you're, upbeat all the time. I don't operate that way. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do that. And I'm going to say to you is stop fighting for your limitations.
Stop good. Yeah.
For your limitations.
Yeah.
Fight for your greatness. You were born to be great. What are you going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you. I wish I could tell you that. That's why this platform is created, to give you tools and resources to help you navigate. Nobody's going to come save you. And Dr. Julianna, please jump in. That's
No,
so true to me. It feels so raw to me. And I know even in my journey as an entrepreneur, it just feels raw. So
yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And again, we don't succeed on our own. God put us in relationship with one another. And so finding those individuals, sisters, brothers, colleagues, friends, whoever it is, people that understand you, people that get you, to just remind you of who you are sometimes. And then on the same token, nobody is going to save us. And I wish on some days, I wish that were true. I wish I didn't have to just take care of me. I wish somebody would come on a white horse and sweep me off my feet and, live happily ever after, but that's not going to happen. And so what do I need to do? Not only to survive, but to thrive. I have too much of a drive in me to just be okay surviving. It's like, no, that I don't care what kind of environment I'm in. I'm always looking for how can I be my best, even if it's the worst situation I've ever been in. And it's not as easy as it sounds, but I will, like you say, I will fight for that. I will fight for myself to thrive versus succumbing to, oh, I guess this is just how it's going to be. No part of my DNA does that for me.
good for you. So you have this amazing book, and your book. Oh my God, what did that just do? Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, my screen just switched. My mother does that. She calls me all the time, and she makes it. I love her so much. So you have this great book.
Yes.
And I could have used this book because I tell people all the time, there wasn't a glass ceiling for me in corporate America. There was a brick ceiling for me in corporate America. And I say to you, you talk about breaking the glass ceiling. Give me a strategy. What is one of those strategies?
Oh, wow. I can give you
a book, and we're going to have them do that. But if you could share.
I can give you a whole bunch. But it's funny because sometimes things don't happen until you take a step, or you don't see the next step until you take a first step. And this book, I graduated with my PhD in 2008, and I've been writing, stopping this book ever since then. And it was a struggle, and I would have days it's like, forget it. I don't feel like writing. I don't feel like doing this. And then something, my spirit, a friend, somebody would always bring it back. Where's the book? We need that book. And so finally, one of my dear friends, Dr. Vanessa George, she was like, she read my dissertation. She was like, oh my God, you got to turn it into a book. Where are you at in this process? And she gave me that last bit of encouragement I needed to complete the project and get it published. And after I got it published, I realized as I was starting to talk about it, the model that emerged from what I learned from my dissertation, what I learned from working with leaders as an executive coach, and then from my own career, is that, I call it the SAS model. So it stands for savvy, having professional savvy, which is your own technical capabilities, the knowledge of your profession, your organization, your industry, and everything that's within your power to do to be the best professional you can be. So that's the savvy piece. Yes. And then the A is for accountability. I keep saying it. We don't live in this life by ourselves. We need the accountability and support, someone that's going to speak on our behalf when we're not in the room. Someone's like my friend Vanessa, who's going to ask, where are you in that goal? Someone that's waiting for you to step into your greatness, and they're holding you accountable for that. And so it's the accountability and support. And then the last S is for having a strategy. How are you going to do it? Because I just did this earlier with a individual, and they said something like, I'm going to do X. And I said, okay, when are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? it wasn't just, I'm going to, talk to this person. I want to know, what are you going to do with this person? How does that serve you in this ultimate goal? So having that keen strategy to know anything that you're doing is either moving you closer or further away from what you say is that desired goal, that vision, that dream that you want. So, the secrets, if you will, the strategies are making sure you're at the top of your game. That's like basic, that's entry level. You got to be good at what you do.
Know your stuff.
You got to know your stuff. You got to, whatever courses or certifications or what have you that you need, you got to get those. You can't say anybody's holding you back if you haven't done everything that you could do to position yourself to be in whatever role or opportunity you're looking for. But then it doesn't stop there. It is with building those relationships. So when I talk about accountability and support, that requires you to reach out and start getting to know people, or asking for a mentor, or developing that sister circle so that you're having that support. Having a friend or a coach hold you accountable for those things. And then having an actionable plan so that by the time you've completed it, you're at your desired stop or destination, if you will.
Well, to me, that is a fit mentality. That is all about faith, intuition, and tenacity. The first thing you said is, somebody said, I have a goal, or I want to do X, Y, Z. And you said, well, what are you going to do? So faith is, you got to step in order to ignite faith. Faith is one thing to say, I have faith.
Yeah.
It's another thing to step out on faith.
Activate it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Activation.
Yeah.
To do something. And then along with that, what I heard you say is that even accountability to yourself, that's that intuition part. Who are you listening to? What are you listening to? And tenacity, are you doing it? And every day, are you measuring your success? How are you measuring it?
Yeah.
How are you measuring the goal that you said?
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of times people say that they want this, they don't want to do the work. It's just like, even with this platform that I'm doing, this is so wonderful that I show up, but it's more behind the scenes than me just showing up.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how many times Dr. Julianna and I have spoken prior to her coming on board, what I needed to get from her in order to really understand her story so we can have a conversation. What it took for us to decide, how can we build better together? And then actually coming on board and doing this, and then my team, I won't even tell you all the stuff that they do in order to get prepared. But all that saying is, a dream, nothing, my grandmother told me this. That's my grandmother.
Oh, I love it.
This is my great grandmother. But my grandmother, Esther K. Mims, my foundation is named after her, EKM Foundation. She said to me, nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. What that means is you have to get into action. What do you want? I want this. I want to touch 50 million women. What is that going to take? Well, I got to talk to you every day. I got to ask you every day through various platforms and that I'm on social media to watch me, to support me. So I'm having to take action. Everything that Dr. Julianna is saying to you, I'm just giving you a concrete example. And it takes work. I got to get up and do it every morning, whether you show up and support me here or not. I got to do the work, and I'm committed to doing the work because I know the people's lives impacted. I know the telephone calls that I get. I know the emails that I get for people thanking me. So, Dr. Julianna, thank you for that strategy, because it is so needed, and it's something that we talk about. But it's another thing to do it. It's another thing to do it.
My pastor always says, don't just talk about it, be about it. You can talk, you can talk all day long, but at some point, you used a very strong word for me, and that's commitment, and that's part of that intuition and knowing that this is what you're called to do. This is what you're supposed to do. So even when it gets tough, even when you're, you might not have the money, or you don't have the energy. I've had situations that I haven't felt well, and I had to stay in the bed because I couldn't physically get out of the bed. And I was so frustrated because I knew I still needed to continue on this path that I felt God had put me on. So it's even when you get knocked down, sometimes you got to get back up and you got to get back out there and keep going. And, that tenacity is just not giving up until you see it come to pass, until that goal becomes, or that dream becomes a reality. Don't give up and have faith in yourself. I believe in a higher power. I believe in the Lord and have faith in him, but we also have to have faith in ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. God said faith without works is dead.
Yes.
The Bible said, so I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Hey, if you guys are listening, this isn't meant to be a monologue.
Mm-mm.
We want a dialogue. We want to talk to you. Ask questions. What are you experiencing? How can we support you?
Yes.
How can we use this platform to get some questions answered that you may be struggling with? Some situations that you're not quite sure how to tactfully get done. How can we support you in that effort? We're here for you. This platform is for you. It's not about two women just sitting here talking. It's about us sharing with you strategies for leadership, strategies for your life on how you can be the best. Now, we can have a dialogue. True enough. I mean, we can talk and have a monologue between the two of us or a dialogue between the two of us, but it gets more richer when you get involved. So I really encourage you, if you have questions, please ask. If you haven't already tagged a friend, please do so, because this information is to be shared. It's not to be kept within. And you have a platform that is created for you by a Black woman with you in mind. You were not an afterthought. You were the thought. You were the reason. This is my passion and my purpose. I'm here to support you, and so is Dr. Julianna. We're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
So we talked about faith.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about intuition and even tenacity.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have truly had some struggles early on, and I really alluded to some of those. And it's one thing for us to gloss over it, but I really want to dive deep. I really do want to know an example of what you went through, like an example.
Yeah.
Right now in my mind, I have a lot of them.
Me too. I'm like, which one do I choose?
I have a lot, so many. I have the example. And it's not so much in the example that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the lesson.
Yeah.
Because the lesson is where we learn and grow.
Right.
It's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens is, what are you gonna do about it? So give me an example of something that's happened and truly how you turned it around to work for you.
Got it. Okay. So while I was in grad school, two things happened. As I was working toward my PhD, the first thing that happened was my mom passed away in the middle of my program. I was devastated. My father had already passed. Anyone who's had their mom pass, it's like you feel like an orphan, a motherless child. And that was the first time I plummeted into clinical depression. And I couldn't get out of bed. I could barely focus on school because I was so sad. And yeah, that was understandable. But again, I couldn't stay there, And so that was the first time I went and talked to a therapist. And he told me, in order for you to get better, we're going to need to medicate you. He said, this is not lifelong. It's kind of like putting a little protective shield around your heart and your emotions and letting you heal, kind of like a cast. And then once you're healed, we can take it off and you can, continue. And I felt, I was like, I got to function. I can't just lay up in the bed 24/7 because I'm depressed or because I feel sad. You're right. Mental health is very real. And I was just sharing with my daughter, you got to be willing to do whatever you need to do to move forward. If that means, through a healthy way of medicating, not self-medicating, which is what a lot of us do, and those in my family as well, but really seeking that help and finding a way out of that pit. So that was the first thing that happened. And then the second thing that happened, like a year later, I was trying to lose weight, and I had gone to Weight Watchers with my son when I had him, because I had gained like 50 pounds. And so I'm like, okay, I need to go back to Weight Watchers because I'm gaining this weight and I don't know what I'm doing. And no matter what I did, I couldn't lose the weight. And then I go to the doctor and I'm pregnant. So
there you go.
And I had the worst, Cheryl, the worst morning sickness ever. I was sick from the time I woke up, and from the time even before I found out I was pregnant to the time I had my daughter, I was sick the whole 9 months and had to really, again, persevere and find ways to maneuver around this challenge for me, because that was the second depression. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still in my PhD program. Neither of us planned to get pregnant, but here we are, married, and that's what happens. And so I had to delay the program by a year and a half, because when I first found out I was pregnant, I was supposed to take my exams for the PhD, which comes after like 2 years of all the academic work. And I was too sick. My school was in San Francisco. I live in Pittsburgh. I was way too sick to get, an hour away to San Francisco to sit for a 3-hour exam. That wasn't going to happen. And so I had my daughter in November, and then had the opportunity to take the exam again in December. It was only offered twice a year. It wasn't like I could take it whenever I felt like it. And so I packed my daughter up. I was nursing at the time. She and I went to San Francisco. Yes, perseverance, exactly. She and I went to San Francisco. I was nursing, so they put me in a private room so I could take the test on the computer, and I could attend to her when I needed to. And after that first test, I was told of 3 tests that I took, I passed only 1 of 3. And so what did I have to do? I had to take the test again in the spring. I went, this time I could leave her home, took the test, found out I didn't pass the other 2 exams. So here I'm at a intersection, a juncture, because I only had one more opportunity to pass the test. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to continue with the PhD program. And all kinds of questions. Am I smart enough? Can I do this? Should I have done it? Do I need to just quit and go get a job? Or do I need to go to an easier school? What do I need to do? And thankfully, I had the support, I had the encouragement, and I actually found a professor who helped me to think about how I think, so that I could approach the exams in such a way that it was more according to my thoughts rather than what I thought someone else wanted to read. It was like I could be me. You talked about authenticity. I could authentically approach the exam, giving responses based on how I thought about it, and supported by the academics and all the reading and all the theories and all of that I had read. And I passed the last 2 exams. So I got all, and I was in a training, and I was teaching a class, and we were on break, and I listened to my voicemail, and the dean of the school left the message, you passed. I immediately jumped up, ran out the room, ran out the building, and just started screaming and praising it. Oh my God, this is over with. And so, yeah, perseverance, tenacity is absolutely key. From those experiences, and those were 2 difficult experiences for me. So if I could do it there, I was like, I can do anything. I can, scale a wall. I can leap tall buildings in a single bound. I felt so powerful and able to achieve. And, I haven't looked back since. It's, even though there have been obstacles since, and there have been challenges since, from that evidence of what I've done, I now know that I can do whatever it is I set my mind to. So I hope that was something.
Oh my God, you guys, were you taking notes? Trivia, I love you.
Yes.
Treva, I always add an IA on the end of your name. Please forgive me. You know I know who you are. The Oakland knows who you are. You are our very own, and we are so proud of you. So proud of you and your accomplishments. I want to say that was powerful. What you did was just share with everybody. Your mother passed away. You went into a depression. Now you're taking medication. You find out you couldn't lose weight. You're pregnant with your child, and you're trying to finish your master's program. Like all that at the same time. And the thing I want people to see is that you're not alone. Just know you're never alone. You're only as far away as a phone call. Don't ever feel that you have to do it alone. You have a community. And it's about reaching out. And one of the things that was really powerful for me, and it's just sitting with me right now, is that your community that you reached out to told you to think differently about how you were approaching the problem of being able to pass your exams.
Yes.
Everybody, if you didn't get anything else to hear what she said, she had to change her thinking.
Yes.
The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing, but expect different results. If you want to get to your goal and everything you've done is not working, get a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Get a friend.
Yeah.
Get somebody who can help you look through a different lens. It just means that I'm seeing you now and I can see you, but when I put these on, I can see you real good.
Yes.
Fine print. I can see you on the screen. I can see everything. It truly is about changing our focus. I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's really what coaching is helping people to become aware of how they're thinking, and then not necessarily telling them you're thinking wrong, but here's some other possibilities. Here's some other options that you're not considering, or what are the possibilities and what are the options you're not considering? And how does that open up the possibilities for you so that you can make a different choice or behave in a different way? Because you're absolutely right. If there's this phrase, the same thinking that got us into this mess it can't be the same thinking that's going to get us out of it. So you have to be mindful of that awareness you talked about, aware of how your mind might be that one limitation. It might not even have to do with anybody else. It could very well be how you're thinking about it and staying mindful of the limitations you're putting on yourself.
Well, I love everything you say, and you talk about Sister Circle, and Treva is on, been commenting periodically. I'm gonna put her beautiful picture back out here because she is our city councilman, and she is for District 7, which is mine, and she's amazing. But she's a person that shows up. I'm telling you about people that show up in your life. You are one that shows us up. And I just want to say, I appreciate you. I want to say, Dr. Julianna, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for your vulnerability to truly share that story. I think that often when we're in these platforms, we want everything sometimes to be perfect and all the words to come out perfect. And I think when we bring in that authenticity again, let me give you an example of something that I went through. It helps people to grab onto something like it's rich. It's something that they can resonate with, like, oh my God, that is me, or I have gone through that. I coach a lot of young women. I have a program called Fit for the Future. I work with millennials, Gen Z, some Y, and they are very amazing. But I want to tell you something. They're looking for us. They need us. They're looking for people that can help them overcome those obstacles that they're facing daily in their lives. And whether it has to do with not only the pressure that we have within corporate America, but the pressure we have with the pandemic, the pressure we have with having lost lives, the pressure we have with racism, the pressure we have with trying to convince people racism is real, the pressure we have with, our own mental health and trying to be our most audacious self in the face of adversity and still smile and act like we're not bothered by it. Like, if you put one more brick on my back,
Right.
or you put one more knee on my neck,
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. And so I'm hoping that these tools will really inspire them to know that what you're feeling is real.
Yeah.
Just say that what you're feeling is real, but now we got to do something about it. And doing something about it means we cannot sit by idle in our lives anymore. And we cannot wait for somebody. Captain Save 'em, not coming. Captain Save 'em is not coming. But you got Dr. Julianna.
Yes.
And you got Cheryl Grant.
Yes.
Reed. You got so many other women that I also sit on the board, the executive board for the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce.
Wow.
As the vice chair. We're doing things in the community. We're helping people. There's organizations like BWAPA. There's organizations like the 100 Black Women, the 100 Black Men. There's organizations like Deltas, the Links, the AKAs. There's organizations. There's no reason for you to have to sit in that. No reason.
Right.
No reason.
Right. And it's important for us to lift as we climb too. And that's what you're doing, is as we get to that next level, whatever that next level is for us, there's always someone behind. Even if you're a brand new college grad, there are girls in college or young women in college that are looking at you as a role model. If you're starting in college, there are girls in high school that are looking at you as a role model. If you're at the tail end of your career, think about the legacy and the knowledge that you want to impart into another young woman so that we can keep this going and keep opening doors for each other. And Kamala, she's such a great example of of strength and beauty and community. She makes, she's representing the Bay Area, which is awesome. She's representing Howard University, where my son graduated from. She's representing the AKAs, and that's what we can all do. It's not just someone who is in the limelight. We all have that power, and we all have that light that we can allow to shine. So I just want to encourage anyone that, as Cheryl said, get a coach. If you don't feel like you can afford one, ask your company to reimburse you for it. See if they have professional development dollars that you can use for it. But then also, even if you do have to pay for it, women, particularly Black women, it's important our outsides. Yes, we got to get our hair done. We got to look good, the bags and the shoes and all that good stuff. It's important, as well as our own internal development, our self-care, and our mental health. So if nothing else, I just want to encourage everyone to take care of you and to invest in yourself internally, not just externally, but internally.
I love that. And one of the things we all have to do is lift as we climb. So one of the things I love about what I do is I get to talk to some amazing women who are doing amazing things in the world. And you are definitely at the top of that list. And I'm thankful and grateful for you. The thing for me, though, that I like the least is the time flies. We're already at an hour, but there's a couple of things that I'd like to do before we go. And I really want the audience to hear all of it. And first of all, how can we support you?
Oh, wow. Awesome. So, yeah, go to my website. It's www.juliannahynes.com. And there's a free gift for you. I guess no gift is not free, but there's a gift for you on the website, and you can sign up for the gift and get on my mailing list, so you'll know all the different events that I'm doing and speaking and having. I just started a group coaching program for women. Started on Monday, so that cohort is off and running. But if you're interested in being part of a group coaching experience, definitely get on my mailing list. You can also email me at the same URL. It's actually juliannahynes.com. You can take the doctor off.
Take the doctor off? Okay.
Yeah, I'm Julianna. But yeah, you can email me at juliannahynes.com. I'm on all the social media, link in with me and Facebook and all that good stuff. But most importantly, I want to support those women who are trying to get that seat at the table, who are ready to do the work and just need that extra support. So
write that down, or did I spell your name wrong?
No, you wrote it down right. That's right.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Well, there you go. If you're ready to take it to the next level, then I'm encouraging you. Please do tell her that I sent you. My platform is about doing exactly what I do, connecting the dots. Mm-hmm. I bring these women on for a purpose. I bring them on for a reason. I bring them on for a season. I'm all about supporting my community. And by the way, I just want to thank Angie Ajitombi. I know I messed her last name up, but it's ANJETOMBI. But this is where she's at. It's at you guys, thank you for bearing with me and my typing skills. With my, you see me squinting, don't you? One way fashion. I want you to support her. This outfit I have on, and there's matching pants with them. Call her. She has these subscription boxes that are amazing. She's professional. Her shop is in San Leandro, but please do check her out. She is amazing. I really believe in supporting Black businesses, and I really do believe in the only way to do that is we have to spend our dollars with them. And so please do support Black businesses. She is one of them. And my fashion, oh my God, I got the subscription box. You are going to see this one as well as others. And you know, I do a lot of pictures and with my motivational quotes, and all those fashions are being provided by her. And I want to thank her tremendously for that. She is absolutely amazing. I also want to tell you that I'm so excited. Next week, Linnell Bevels, our very own Bay Area lending guru, will be here at 5 o'clock. And then the very next day, that Friday, I'm going to be having a conversation, the future of Black women in technology. I have Catalina Bryant, who is the head of customer success at Asana Software. I have Leah McGowan Hare, who is a VP for Salesforce.com. I have Mary Stutz, who's a senior VP and sits on several boards for Stanford Health. And I also have my very own friend, and they're all my friends, Karen Washington, who is an executive director for Microsoft. So we are going to be having a great town hall. It'll be 90 minutes on Friday the 16th, but on Thursday the 15th, we're going to be talking to Linnell. I want to say to you that the work that I do, I come to you because I'm passionate about empowering Black women. I'm passionate about us really having the tools and resources we need to be our most audacious self. And through this platform, my goal is to reach 50 million women. I can't do it without you. One of the ways that you can support me is to donate. You can go to my website, www.allthingscharylgrant.com, and donate. No donation is too small or too large. The other way that you can do it is to just like my and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's another way you can help me, or to my Instagram. We are doing amazing work, and it's only growing and it's only getting better, but I can't do it without you. I'm here to show the world that together we can do anything when we come together. And while there are a lot of platforms out there that do things maybe even similar to me, I support them too. And you'll see me collaborating with a lot of them and bringing them on board because I believe in the power of community. I believe that together we can do anything, and we don't need anybody. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not asking for permission. We're doing it, and we're going to make it happen. Join the movement. We get one life to live. Let's make it the best we possibly can. Let's rewrite the narrative, rewrite the story that we tell about Black women. And who better to tell that story than us? Nobody can tell our story better than us because nobody has experienced it the way that we have. And we can do it in a way that is about empowering an entire community and not just a select community. Our empowerment is inclusive. It is about everybody. And even on this platform, the only reason that I really focus is because we don't have one. And I'm determined to create one. And as we grow and expand, who knows where it's going to go? Who knows? But for right now, that's where it is. So with that said, Dr. Julianna Hynes, can I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this amazing opportunity to interview you.
Oh,
I can't wait to collaborate with you because you and I are going to be doing more together.
Awesome. Absolutely. And you are an inspiration for us all, Cheryl. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone who chimed in to listen.
Well, thank you, everybody. With that, have a fabulous Thursday and can't wait to talk to you next Thursday. God bless, be safe, and be well. Thank you.